As the scientists said in Jurassic Park, nature finds a way. It's a chilly morning here, Bakersfield, crystal clear skies. In fact, we were out walking last night. We were talking about the 7-year-old was talking about the groundhogs, and we couldn't remember what he had to see a shadow or not see a shadow. And it's when he sees a shadow, there's going to be more winter versus when he doesn't see a shadow. And it's so crystal clear day like this. Definitely can see my shadow, so that means more winter. And I guess cloudy days means spring is coming. So, but nature finds its way in that Bakersfield is basically a desert. We water the crap out of it. And we got some fertile soil, obviously, from when the Kern River, which is fed from the high Sierras, water from Mount Whitney and whatnot. So it's very dry here. Summer it's dry and hot, winter it's dry and cold. But somehow, and I just went past them, there's a flock of parrots around my neighborhood and also other parts of Bakersfield. Of course, these parrots aren't native here, but they escape from their houses and they just kind of survive here, which, you think of parrots being in the jungle, but somehow they thrive here in the cold and the heat. Not sure what in the world they eat. I mean, I know they eat seeds and stuff. I've had parrots. So I guess they find plenty to eat here. And I guess the predators, we have lots of hawks and eagles and stuff like that flying around. But I guess the parrots do pretty good. They're damn noisy, that's for sure. As they say in cycling, I am pedaling squares this morning. Pedaling squares means you're not riding smoothly. And I just got done with an 80-minute chug, walk 500 meters, run 500 meters. And, the pace was okay, but I definitely tired. Probably from yesterday's morning workout, but then in the afternoon, I did the iFit bike ride through Norway, then jumped on and did some Utah trail run where I kicked my treadmill up to 12%. And then when I was all done with that, my friend Liz got a hold of me. We went for a 3-mile walk in the dark. It's kind of interesting out there. Crazy, fires from the homeless, random people standing around in the dark. And it's kind of sad that, it's only 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, and you just can't go out and walk along the bike path river and feel completely safe. I mean, thankfully, I'm a big dude. People generally leave us alone, but still kind of sad. So this morning, finishing up this workout was a little rough. Started the workout listening to the rewatchables from The Ringer, and they were doing Country Strong, which I watched the other day. Decent movie, not the greatest movie. And it was interesting. They were talking about, what would go on now in today's world with TMZ. And I started thinking, what does TMZ stand for? So, of course, nowadays you don't have to wonder, you just Google it. It's always amazing. I have people write me all the time, asking me questions. I'm always like, you do have a phone, you just wrote me that question. Why don't you just Google it yourself? But anyways, TMZ means 30-mile zone. And it's basically the zone from the Hollywood studios. And it had to do with, figuring out how much your per diem and mileage and things like that, union wages, sort of an insider type of thing. And that's why he picked TMZ. Turned out, I guess, the URL was owned by some other company. He was able to buy it for only $5,000. But when he went over to go pick it up, he borrowed someone's old beat-up Honda so that the guy wouldn't think he was some richer guy. So that was kind of interesting that I had no idea. Now I know. TMZ, 30-mile zone. Of course, TMZ reminds me of DMZ, which is the demilitarized zone, which out there in Korea, but you don't really think of it as demilitarized. Sure, the little zone in between is, but then you've got the South Korean Americans and then the North Koreans on the other side, armed to the teeth. I had a few friends who actually had to be stationed there, and I had a Korean roommate in college. Speaking of college, last night, the University of Oregon Ducks broke the NCAA record for the DMR, distance medley relay, which is a 1,200, 400, 800, 1,600. Really fun event. I wish it was included in regular track meets. But, there is a lot of races going on, I guess, in track meets. It's the world's best. They beat the time from Matt Centrowitz, who, was Olympic champion in 1,600, 1,500. And so, pretty impressive. Can't be a world record because the DMR isn't recognized as a world event. And I guess when you're doing a relay, everybody's got to be from the same country. And one of the young men on the Oregon team was from Australia, so that wouldn't work either. But still a pretty great performance. Another great performance the other day was that 13:20 something 5K. But it looks like now they're not going to allow in the NCAA record books because they use pacing lights, and pacing lights aren't allowed in the NCAA. Of course, the United States Track and Field allows them, and the World Athletics allows them. On with the theme of three-letter names. Of course, when I was in the music business, there's lots of three-letter names. JFA, Jodie Foster's Army, DMX, DRI, many. So one of the things that I found when I'm doing all these videos on the Nordic Track iFit program is I'm amazed at how good they are. The video's really good. The guys, the coaches are good. And I'm amazing how much knowledge they drop of not only the locale, like yesterday was riding through Norway, found out this fjord got blocked off from the ocean, and now it's a saltwater lake. I mean, not a saltwater lake, a freshwater lake. But one of the things, they throw a lot of training jargon and tech talk, and I'm always kind of amazed. They have really good training programs, but I'm always amazed at how when I'm training or racing, especially racing or races, how there's all this knowledge out there, yet it seems like so many people don't take advantage of it. And I know these videos are super popular, and you would think it would translate into better performances and better educated athletes, but definitely doesn't seem to be the case. One thing they talk about quite a lot, and it's funny, when I talk about it, people look at me cross-eyed, is the whole RPI, rate of perceived exertion. They're constantly talking about it on the videos, and yet when I mention it, people look at me like, huh, what are you talking about? So very interesting that that's the case, that these videos are great coaching tools, and there's so much great coaching stuff out there. And it's funny, I started coaching full-time adults 2009 with a run camp and online, and over the past few years I've kind of faded out of it just because now there's so many coaches. But it's interesting that now you don't really need all these coaches because there's so much great material out there. Like this week, I started the Macmillan program on Garmin. It throws the training program on my watch, and I just follow it along. It's like baking cookies. But then again, I don't think many people bake anymore. Since my congestive heart failure diagnosis back in April of last year, I'm on medications, and one of the benefits of medications is I'm sleeping a lot better. Now I'm getting 5-6 hours of sleep a night, scoring in the 80s according to my Fitbit, but still means I've got 18, 19-hour days. So I fill them with videos, podcasts, production, and training, some coaching, but I also still play poker. Can't really play it like I used to because of silly laws that are banning it, which is ridiculous. But I've been playing quite a bit on online, and while I'm playing, of course, I'm usually looking for something to watch. I watch a lot of YouTube stuff. Yesterday I saw a movie it's new on HBO Max, called The Small Things, and it has Denzel Washington. It has the kid who played Freddie Mercury in the Queen movie. And so I thought, I'll watch this. Pretty good movie. Jared Leto's in it. Won't do any spoilers, but one of the things I found was really entertaining was that Denzel is a Kern County deputy sheriff, and it was just crazy seeing Denzel Washington wearing the Kern County sheriff outfits, what I've seen for 40 plus years living here in Bakersfield. Good performance, pretty good movie. I definitely would recommend checking it out. It's one of the movies that HBO Max is kind of showing, like they did the Wonder Woman one too, Wonder Woman 84, because now movies are still not really being at theaters. Of course, that Wonder Woman 84 was ridiculous. Fight scenes were way too long. The movie really didn't make sense. But I'd highly recommend watch the Denzel Washington movie on HBO Max, The Small Things. And as always, stay healthy, be boring, not epic. All of a sudden it shows, run!
Yes!
The rest of California.